Oh, hello, friends, and welcome. We are here today for a gentle yoga flow with a theme around grief. And oftentimes we talk about grief in terms of death and dying, but there's so many ways that we can experience grief in this life. And so it can be really, really helpful to have a practice for embodying those emotions so that you can work through them differently than you can if you're just like talking about things or maybe stuck in your own thoughts. We can bring some really gentle movements to the body that are sort of nurturing to help with that process. And oftentimes in yoga, we do a lot of heart opening, but this is sort of opposite to that, in that it's really like actually a heart closing practice. Oftentimes when we're grieving, we're sort of like hunched forward a little bit, and it's almost like we're trying to like hold our heart together in those times of deep sadness and pain and processing. And so we're gonna like really lean into that in this practice, in hopes that it will be like the salve that you need to bring those pieces back together. So actually, we're gonna start in child's pose. And so I'm sorry, like, excuse me. Yeah, there it is. So you're welcome to do this in a seated position where you're just going to really like surrender to the support of the seat beneath you. It can be nice to even have something with arms or place pillows underneath the arms if you're in a seated position. But for the rest of us, we're going to bring knees together, feet together, or knees the width of the mat and toes together. And then take a big deep breath in through the nose, sitting up nice and tall and straight to start here. Just aligning that head over heart, heart over center, keeping things in alignment in this process. And then if you'd like to, you can bring a block in front of you to rest the forehead on. So one more big deep breath in through the nose here. And then exhale, soften, folding forward from the hips, melting yourself, bringing you closer to the mat, perhaps choosing the support of a block underneath the forehead. And if you don't have a yoga block at home, you could use blocks or a pillow. I said blocks or a pillow, books or a pillow. And inhale, come up onto the fingertips here for just a moment. Oh, stretching out that heart space a little bit here. And remembering that this is your practice. You only need to come into it as far as feels right to you, nourishing to you, and good to you. If all you make it into today is this posture, while you're in a place of grief and processing, and more power to you. Oh, let's take 3 deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth, just releasing whatever's ready to be released in the body, in the heart, in the mind. Big deep breath in through the nose and then sighing out the mouth. 2 more of those in and out. And 1 more big breath in. And as you exhale out of the mouth, bring the palms all the way down to the earth now. Melt the elbows down towards the earth. And surrender here. Taking some time to connect to the breath. To honor where you're at in this moment. To know that it's okay to feel whatever you're feeling. Whether you feel a bit lost in the chaos. Whether you feel numb and you don't know what to feel. And whether it feels like you're feeling everything at once. Breathe into it and lean into it. Allow yourself to experience the totality of your emotions in this moment. Taking a few more deep breaths in through the nose and out through the nose here. And then we'll begin some box breathing here in our child's pose. And so for the trick to box breath is that there's the same count of inhale, the same count to pause, the same count to exhale, and the same count to pause again before the next inhale. And I like a 4 count, so I'm going to count us for our box breath here. So inhale, 2, 3, 4, pause, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, pause, 2, 3, 4, inhale, 2, 3, 4, pause, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, pause, 2, 3, 4, inhale, 2, 3, 4, pause, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, pause, 2, 3, 4, inhale, 2, 3, 4, pause, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, pause, 2, 3, 4, inhale, 2, 3, 4, pause, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, pause, 2, 3, 4. Returning to a normal state of breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Beginning to see if anything is shifting or changing in your perspective. And on an inhale, engage the muscles of the belly, fire up the core, the abdomen, and begin to lift up slowly back up to that seated position. From here, you can move that block out of the way for just a moment. And we're going to come to Sukhasana, our easy pose. So where one leg is in front of the other. And then if you liked the block before, that support of lifting the earth to you, you can place that back here. And we're going to do a forward fold here in Sukhasana. So sitting up nice and straight to lift and lengthen tall through the crown here. Once again, bringing that head over heart, heart over center. And then exhale, forward fold. Breathing deep here. Getting that benefit of working with the hips while also working to protect that heart space, to protect these feelings in this vulnerable place. Knowing that you are safe here, that this is a safe space to process, to be, to feel. If you'd like to, you can engage with that box breathing, or you could breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth, releasing whatever's ready to be released. Whereas the box breath is great for grounding and de-escalating in heightened moments. Whichever breath you're choosing, really use the exhale to soften the muscles of the back, soften the shoulders,
Soften the muscles of the face, allowing everything to soften so you can receive the full benefits of your practice. Inhale to slowly rise back up here, returning to that aligned state of head over heart, heart over center, and then switching to bring the opposite leg in the front this time. This is oftentimes our less dominant side. So it's good to make sure that we're balancing out and stretching and keeping things even where we can in a time where sometimes our experience can be weighted in one direction rather than the other. We can at least still strive to create that balance in the body. Inhale to take a nice big deep breath in through the nose and lift through the crown. And exhale, forward folding. Oh, stretching out in front of you. And once again, beginning this posture on the fingertips to open up that heart space just a little bit. While still in this forward fold. So still tending to keeping that safe, that heart space, but also stretching it a little bit, seeing what else is ready to be felt. Breathing deep here, sending your awareness to any muscles of the body that are aching and sore, and using that exhale to soften. Three more breath cycles here. Inhale to slowly roll back up to that seated position. Sitting up nice and tall here. If you'd like to, you can place the prop under the hips. Settling in. Beautiful. Take one big deep breath in through the nose here. And out through the nose. And then bringing one hand to the earth. Inhale, lift the other arm up and over. Use that inhale to lift up towards the sky, and then exhale to reach out and over. Pulling that shoulder back. And feeling that deep stretch from the hip all the way up into the armpit. Pausing here, melting into this posture. Making sure that both thighs stay firmly active and engaged to the earth. And breathing deep here. Always an option to have that box breath. And when I do the box breath, I really like to imagine that I'm like drawing a box with my breath. Like each 4 count is a side of the box. Inhale to come all the way back through to center. And exhale the journey on over to the other side. Pulling that shoulder back just far enough to keep the shoulders in alignment with each other. And using your breath to ground you, to be your guide. Allowing yourself to be soft and vulnerable in this space. Inhale to come all the way back through to center. And then exhale to twist and turn, looking out past your back shoulder. Nice and gentle here, paying special attention to any pinching, numbness, or tingling. All of those are your body's way of asking you to be a little bit gentler which you may need in a space of grief. You may need everything to be a little bit softer. Two more breath cycles here. And inhale to come back through to center. Exhale to journey on over to the other side. Using each inhale to lift and lengthen tall through the crown of the head. And each exhale to twist and turn, looking out past that back shoulder. Every breath cycle, every moment, an opportunity to readjust and realign to meet your needs in the present moment. Inhale to come back through to center, this time bringing the hands all the way to the shoulders. And inhale, open up the heart, pull the arms back, lift the gaze to the sky. Exhale to round, tuck the chin into chest, elbows touch, belly button back and in. Inhale to open. Exhale to round. Following your own breath, your own divine timing here. Three more breath cycles. You may find yourself moving at a slower pace. That makes sense, as it takes a lot of energy to process grief, to work your way through it intentionally. That might mean moving a little bit slower than normal. That next inhale, slowly roll back up to that seated position. And you can move any blocks or props you might have under the sits bones out of the way, and then roll forward onto hands and knees. Knees under hips, hands under shoulders. And just make up some hip circles here. It could be big or small. Just connecting to the body. Knowing that grief and trauma is stored in the hips. So by bringing movement and flexibility to this area, you're allowing yourself to move through your process. Allowing yourself to feel all the feels, reversing and going in the opposite direction now. Beautiful job. Let those circles get smaller and smaller and smaller until you find the hips back over the knees. Walk your hands towards the front edge of your mat. Take a big deep breath in through the nose here. And then exhale, melt the forehead down towards the mat or a block here. If you appreciated the support of the block in our first two poses, might be a really nice place to integrate it here also. Breathing deep. Two more breath cycles here. Fully surrendering to the support of Mother Earth beneath you. And then inhale, slide the hands back under the shoulders, pressing back up to that tabletop position. Inhale to lift that right hand up towards the sky. And exhale, thread the needle, dive that shoulder down to the earth. right side of the head to the earth. And that left hand can stay where it is or extend straight out in front of you. Pausing here for 4 breaths. Committing to fully surrender to this posture. One more breath here, biggest breath yet today. And then pressing into that left hand, returning back up to that tabletop posture. And then inhale, left hand to the sky. Exhale, thread the needle on the other side. Bring that left shoulder down to the earth. Right hand can stay where it is or extend straight out in front of you. Eyes can soften and close if you'd like. And pausing here for 4 breaths. Breathing deep here into your experience that is raw and authentic and valid. Inhale to press into that right hand, returning back to tabletop. Inhale to extend the right leg straight out, back and behind. And then exhale, bend that knee, step that foot all the way up and through. Bringing front knee over front ankle. We're just going to rock back and forth on that leg here. Waking up the legs and connecting to them. The next time you exhale, you can walk the hands back and just bow down over that leg, pulling the right hip back into its socket. The left hip comes forward and really hinging from the hips here. On your next inhale, walk the hands back to either side of that front foot. Step the right foot back to meet the left. And then inhale, left leg comes straight out, back and behind. And then exhale, bend that knee, step the foot all the way up and through. Same thing, other side. Acknowledging the different sides of the body and what you're feeling on the side that may be different from the other side. On that next exhale, walk the hands back and bow yourself over that leg. Breathing deep here. Imagining that you are bowing to or surrendering to your grief so that it may come and you may experience it and work through it. Inhale to walk those hands forward once again. This time, curl the back toes under and then bring the back foot up to meet the front foot, however that looks for you, working your way towards a forward fold. We're going to hang here for a solid minute. So if you need to bend the knees, if you want to bring the hands to the earth, if you want to place blocks under the hands, or you can place a block and bring the head to the block. That same like gesture of support like we were doing with our forward folds, our seated forward folds before. But connect to the legs as a source of strength, feeling strong in this moment, knowing that you are strong in this moment. Being in a place of grief is not a lack of strength, right? It takes real strength, real power to feel these feels, to welcome them into your process without fear. Big deep breaths here. Then when you're ready, use an inhale to slowly, one vertebrae at a time, come to standing, with the head to be the last thing that rises. And standing tall in mountain pose here. Feet hip width distance apart. Slight micro bend in the knees. Isometric engagement of the thighs. Active and engaged, pulling towards each other. Pelvis tilted slightly forward. Engaging the abdomen here and then lifting tall through the crown of the head. Exhale to soften the shoulders down the back body. Arms extended out at either side. Fingertips out, active and engaged. Tapping into your strength here. And breathing deep into it. Knowing that you have the tools, the resources to make it through this moment, to make it through this experience. And to come out on the other side wiser, wiser about the world, wiser about yourself. Breathe into all of those future possibilities that exist from where you are in this place now. Taking some deep breaths in through the nose and out through the nose. One more big breath in here and standing tall in your mountain pose at the top of your mat. Take about a half step back with your right foot. So we're preparing for pyramid here. So the farther back your legs are, the deeper this stretch will be. So you really get to choose how far back you want that foot. And that back foot is pointing towards the front right corner of your mat here. So it's not like perfectly straight, but like ish. And then inhale that same mountain torso. So that same lift through the crown of the head. Taking a big deep breath in here and exhale to soften the shoulders. Down the back body. Bring the palms together in front of you. Taking a big deep breath in once again. And exhale, begin to hinge forward from the hips here and bring those hands to the inside of the inner thigh. The hands could come to the inside of the shin or the calf rather, or perhaps all the way to the earth. Yogi's choice here. Wherever you are, the abdomen is active and engaged. You're feeling that strength, but you're also allowing yourself to protect your heart here. Inhale, begin to rise back up, hinging back up from the hips, and then step the right foot up to meet the left. Bring the hands to the heart. Allow the eyes to soften or close, and just take a breath cycle here. Breathing deep. Honoring how far you've come in this practice. One more big breath in through the nose and out through the nose. And then standing tall at the top of your mat, this time taking a step back with the left foot. Having those toes pointed towards the top left corner edge of the mat. Pelvis tucked, lifting tall through the crown, shoulders softened down the back body, palms together in front of you. Inhale to take a big deep breath in through the nose. And exhale, begin to hinge forward from the hips, bringing those hands to rest either on the inside of the thigh, the inside of the calf, or all the way down to the earth. Really pulling that right hip back, left hip forward. Keeping your gaze on the earth in front of you and breathing. Inhale to take one more big deep breath in through the nose. Exhale to release it fully. With the next inhale, begin to hinge back up to standing position, standing back up to the top of your mat. And this time, bring that left leg across the right leg. Bring your left hand up over your head, your right hand in front of your abdomen into salutation pose. Pose about balance, but also holding space. And if you want to, you can soften or close the eyes here and just imagine that you are holding space for your current experience, whatever that is. Judgment free, just allowing it to be. Inhale, uncross the legs, switch the hands, and then step the right foot across the left leg. Once again, breathing into the space that you're creating here for your whole experience. Inhale to uncross those legs, lift both hands up towards the sky, and exhale to dive back down to the toes. Firmly plant those palms to the earth. Take a step back with the left leg, drop the knee down. Take a step back with the right leg, drop the knee down, and then knees together, toes together, sitting back on the heels. Inhale to lift and lengthen tall through the crown of the head, making sure that the head is over the heart is over the center. Core muscles active and engaged. And then inhale to lift the hands straight in front of you, palms facing each other. Exhale, rotate those palms face out. Float the hands back and behind. Interlace the hands here. And then exhale, begin to melt the torso over the thighs. Forehead comes to either a block or the mat. And then arms lift up, back and behind. Breathing deep here. Allowing the wisdom of the heart to be above the wisdom of the head. Lifting those hands back up and behind you as far as it feels in alignment with your needs in this moment. Pausing here for 2 more breath cycles. On your next inhale, begin to lift up tall through the crown of the head. Once you're all the way back upright, releasing those hands so they can float back to the thighs. Pausing for a breath cycle here in through the nose and out through the nose. Beautiful. Coming onto the sides of the hips, extending the legs straight out in front of you here. And keeping the feet nice and active. Inhale, so that same mountain torso, even in the seated position, instead of the feet firmly rooted to the earth, the sits bones are firmly rooted to the earth here. And then lifting and lengthening tall. Can be really nice to sit on the edge of a folded blanket here, just to tilt the pelvis slightly forward and help with this forward fold. Inhale, take a big deep breath in, and exhale to mount the shoulders down the back body. And then inhale, lifting the hands up towards the sky. Exhale, begin to forward fold, hinging from the hips, only going as far as you can while maintaining a nice flat back here. But for the sake of our grief flow, let's bend the knees here and come all the way to the toes, really rounding the back, creating sacred space for the heart here. Forehead may even come to rest on the knees. So choosing whichever variation of this posture that you're going to find more nurturing and more satiating in this moment. Three more breath cycles here. Inhale to slowly rise back up to that seated position. And then bend the left knee, bringing the sole of the left foot into the inner right thigh. Once again, sitting up nice and tall here. And then inhale to lift those hands up towards the sky. Exhale, round and fold. Same option here to bend that right knee if you need to come all the way to the toes. Keeping that right foot nice and active, always a micro bend in that extended leg. Inhale to slowly rise on back up to that seated position, and then switching to the other side. Sole of the right foot is pressing into the inner left thigh now. Left leg, slight micro bend in that knee, foot nice and active. And then inhale to lift and lengthen tall, bringing those hands up to the sky, and exhale, forward fold, reaching towards those toes, bending the knee if you need or want to. It doesn't have to be a need always. It could just be a want. Like in this moment, that's what would feel ooey gooey good and nourishing to you. Breathing deep. One more breath cycle here. And then inhale to slowly roll back up to that seated position, extending both legs straight out, and then coming to lay all the way down on the ground. Oh, kick those knees up towards the chest and give yourself a hug. Gently rocking side to side. When you're ready, allow the knees to fall all the way in one direction. Open up the arms at shoulder height or come into cactus arms here. And then exhale, turn the head to look in the opposite direction of the legs. Calling upon the wisdom of the supine twist to release anything that is ready to be let go of in this moment. Inhale to bring gaze to center and knees to center. And exhale on over to the other side. Once again, checking in with each breath. Is there something new that's ready to be released? Inhale to bring head to center, knees to center, and exhale to stretch out into Shavasana. Now, for the sake of this flow, Shavasana can be quite a vulnerable pose to be in. So in light of that, I would recommend placing a blanket over you, just a little bit of weight, a gentle hug. Taking 3 more breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. Each time softening the muscles of the body to surrender into your Shavasana so that you can fully receive the benefits of your practice. Taking a big deep breath in through the nose and out through the nose. And rolling onto one side, just to ease the transition, be gentle on the body. Pausing here for a breath cycle, in through the nose once again, and out through the nose. Then inhaling to make your way up towards a comfortable seated position. Closing our practice with 3 Oms. So using an inhale to bring the hands to heart center. And taking a nice big deep breath in through the nose. Om. My wish for you on this day and every single day that follows: peace of body, peace of heart, and peace of mind. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining today, and we'll catch you next time. Bye.